What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for coming and checking out another Fat Guy Builds. Today was a sad day. So the Focus, I tried to take it in for a steering alignment, and guess what? Everything's rusted. So, outer tie rod ends, inner tie rod ends, all the tie rod ends. So, I'm just gonna replace them. I think it was like 120 bucks for all four, so not that bad. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna get rid of the snow tires for the season. We shouldn't be getting any crazy snow. So I don't have the right size wrench for this. 7/8 is too small, 1 inch is too big. I don't really have any open-ended metric stuff that would fit this. So I just used this adjustable crescent here. And you're gonna loosen it lefty-loosey, but looking at it from this side, right? So I finally broke it loose. Mine was all rusted. So looking at it from under the car, lefty's gonna be loose, okay? Don't look lefty-loosey from this side. You wanna look at it from under the car. Grab a 15mm socket, deep socket. Knock this thing off. I suggest lubing it up with PB Blaster before you even try this. So we have that loose, this loose, and I have it to where the stud is pretty much at the top of here. Since we're throwing these away, I'm just gonna bash the hell out of this with a hammer and knock it loose. Now that it's knocked loose, take that the rest of the way off, and should just come out. Measure from here to here. There's a little nut piece built on, so it's easy to figure out a length on that. Take a tape measure, go from here to here. That way when you take this off, you can screw the new one on the same amount. Since my nuts are all messed up, I'm gonna take this off and put a new one here. I'm gonna use a wire wheel. I'm gonna clean these threads up nice, and then I'm gonna move on to the other side and do the same thing, and then I can start putting it together with the new parts. The driver's side is the MCF 2313. This is the driver's side. As you can see, the bend matches up. You're gonna start spinning this on, and then you're gonna spin it until it matches whatever measurement you took at the beginning. And then you're gonna lock down this nut. Once you got this pretty much in the right spot where it was, you're gonna take this, slide it up here, then you're gonna go ahead and put the nut. You'll probably want to use an impact drill, not an impact gun, but an impact drill like that to tighten it up. Then loosen this nut again. Double check your measurement. If you need to adjust it, you grab it here, spin it in or out. That will lengthen or shorten this gap, this space between here and here. And then once you get it where you had it, we're going to torque this down. Everything's tightened up. I'm not too worried about torquing this crazy hard. Just make sure it's tight, because right after this, you're going to go to the alignment shop and get a full alignment. So they're going to have to loosen this, adjust everything on the rack and everything. Make sure this is tight. So I just pulled on it till I couldn't pull anymore, and boom, tight. If you want the torque specs, just search it online. On the passenger side, we're going to do the same thing. Loosen this nut. I already have this loose and pounded out, so I'm going to remove this, measure the distance between here and here, take this one off, screw the next one on, And I'm going to put the new nut here as well, clean all the threads with a wire brush or wire wheel. The passenger part is number MCF-2314. Just for reference, if you're having a hard time like I am, the outer and the inner are rusted together, so I got the nut off, but I couldn't get this to spin off. So what I did was I heated up with a torch really hard, spray the PB Blaster, and if you guys don't know what PB Blaster is, I'm not sure how you don't, but it's this stuff here. It's amazing shit. So you get that. While this is hot, you spray it, and the heat will suck the PB Blaster down into the threads towards the heat. And so I'm going to leave it like this for 10 minutes or so, see what happens, and then if it doesn't work, I'm going to do it one more time, and it should work after that. So I'm having zero luck getting this one apart, which is always a possibility, right? So the inner tie rod, MEF 263, is going to replace this part. So what we need to do, squeeze this clamp, get that off, or pulled out over here. Then back there, there's a clamp that more or less you have to cut off. I don't have the tool for that. So I'm going to cut it off, put a different clamp on after, because my boot is still good. So right now, work on getting the clamps off the boot. Then we can detach this from the steering rack. Go to AutoZone, get this tool here, 25296, and we're going to use this right now. In order to get the boot off, the good boot that's on, I had to take, oh man, I had to take a grinder, cut this thing off. Now I can slide that boot off. So now that this is cut, I can grab everything, slide it off. That way, I can start from scratch with all the new parts. You're going to take the tool, you're going to put it on this front piece, tighten down this U-bolt with a 14mm, and now we're going to use a 3/8 breaker bar with an extension here, and we're going to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey it. So it's unscrewed. There's this plastic spacer deal here. So what we're going to do is nicely grab a flathead and work it up all the way around until this thing pops off. Once we get this pink part off, then we'll put it nicely onto the new piece here, and then we'll thread it back on. While you're at it now, take some high quality grease, none of that 99-cent Walmart crap. Put some nice grease onto these worm gear threads here on this steering rack. I use the Lucas Red and Tacky, and has a 540-degree drop point, and it's quality stuff, so I put that on there. Alright, once it's tight, there's a little black round gasket thingy that is on the steering rack. Make sure you put that back. And gonna have to take this nut off, and then we'll slide the boot back on. Stop yelling, buddy. We'll slide the boot back on, put the clamps on the boot. So I put a normal hose clamp on, since the one that was there broke when I took it off. But on this side, I'm reusing the same clamp that came on it here. This is way stiffer, so I'm kind of glad that I changed it. Then screw this nut on. Now what I'm going to do is finish putting it on just like I showed you at the beginning of this video. But then I'm going to go back, tear that side apart again, and replace this as well. That way that's all brand new and tight. Anyways, you've seen the rest of the steps, so I am just going to end the video here. Thanks for coming and checking out another Fat Guy Builds, everyone. Hopefully this helps you out. It was kind of a pain in the butt getting the inner ones out. and getting the new clamps on the inside of the inner boot. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal. Save yourself some money, watch my video, subscribe for more. Check me out on Patreon. You just search the channel name. And till next time, wrench on.